All right, I published a new book. Look at this, CELPIP 8 to 9. I'll put a link to this book right down there under the video if you want to go check it out. Now, the reason I called it CELPIP 8 to 9 is because that's the most common question I get asked. You know, people email me about all kinds of stuff, but the most common kind of email I get is, hey Mark, you know, I'm doing the CELPIP exam and I need to get a 9, but last time I took it, I got 8. How do I go from 8 to 9? I don't know why. Everybody wants a 9, okay? So this is, I hope this really helps you with that. But I want to tell you, if you want to get a 10 or an 11 or 12, I think this book is really going to help you too. Basically, it's just designed, I sort of tried to design it in a way that will just help you boost your score as fast as you can. You know, if you're already at an 8, you know, let's say you got 8 in speaking, 8 in writing, and, you know, it's not always consistent. You know, sometimes you get 8, 7, 9, 7, or something like that, right? If you're close to 8, this book, I think this book will really help you get a 9. But if you're at a 9 and you want to get a 10, I think this book will help you as well. Okay, so I designed it to just try to boost your score as fast as you can. Right? You don't want to waste your time studying English grammar or reading all kinds of different books and stuff like that. Actually, now the interesting thing, the good thing about this book is it's different from my other books. Okay, so if you've used my speaking book, for example, or my writing book, the material in this book is different. It sort of comes at it from a different angle. Okay, now this book has speaking, writing, reading, and listening. Okay, so it has a bit of each, and you know, I just designed it as just sort of the quickest way that you can go, you know, 8 to 9 or 9 to 10, or just to boost it. You're so close, right? If you're at an 8 and you need a 9, or you're at a 9 and you need a 10, right? You're close. You know, even if you're at an 8 and you need a 10 or something, you're close. Don't give up. Okay, just keep going. I think this book will really help you. Now, this book, I think the really nice thing about this book is it helps you, it sort of helps you see the difference between an 8 and a 9. I'll show you some examples, okay? Now, if you look at this page here, this is one of the beginning pages of my book. It says context-specific vocabulary, okay? So I explain what this means. Let's read this page, okay? If you want to go from 8 to 9, you need to use context-specific vocabulary. What does that mean? It means that your words and phrases must fit the context in the question. For example, if you're writing an email to your brother, you should not sign off with "Sincerely, John." That's too formal. Right? If you're speaking to a government official, you should not say, I think the construction, you know, work should stop at 9 p.m. because that's when my family hits the hay. Right? That's too informal. If you use the idiom hit the hay, right? So in this context, if you're talking to like a government official or something, you should not use an idiom like that, like hit the hay. That's too informal, right? Some idioms are formal, some are informal. The same goes for phrasal verbs. In this book, I will teach you words and phrases that you can use in different situations. Okay, so this is the most important thing you need to learn if you want to go from 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. Okay, you need to use context-specific vocabulary. Okay, so just you need to remember that. Now, in my recent videos, I've been talking about you have to prove your English ability to the CELPIP evaluators, right? So when you're speaking or when you're writing, right, and on the test, right, and when the evaluators are listening to you or reading your writing, okay, they need to see certain things. And one of the things they need to see, the most important thing, is this context-specific vocabulary. That shows them that you know how to handle different situations, right? That you are good at being in different situations. So this is really important. Okay, so let's let's scroll through an example. I should have planned out which example was the best. I already talked about the ending. You know, if you're writing to your brother, don't use the word sincerely. That's too formal. But you know, you'll see different topics in my book, okay? So my book covers different topics. I tried to pick the stuff that would just be the fastest way for you to to make that jump. Okay, the most common mistakes people make. But yeah, so if we just look at, okay, informal speaking vocabulary. All right, so that's the topic. Okay, so we're going to look at some examples of how you can go from 8 to 9 if the question is an informal speaking question. Okay, so in this book we go through writing, formal writing, informal writing, formal speaking, informal speaking, different kinds of idioms and phrasal verbs you can use in different situations. Okay, so I give you the question and the examples. So let's take a look at this page here. Okay, so informal speaking vocabulary. Now, the green part in my books, that's like the tips, okay? So that's sort of my explanation. And then here you can see the red color or the pink, whatever color that is, that's the question, that's like the topic. Okay, that's kind of the question. And then the yellow part is the example. And in the blue writing, that's like explaining what the idiom or the phrasal verb is. Okay, so most of the speaking tasks on the CELPIP exam are informal, which means that you should try to use as many idioms and phrasal verbs as you can. Okay, you can use the same ones as in informal writing, because that's the nice thing. If the question is writing to your grandparents or speaking to your grandparents, you can use pretty much the same idioms or the same phrasal verbs. Usually, speaking is more informal than writing. Most of the time in English, writing is a bit more formal, but hey, if it's just a casual situation, you're writing to your brother or something, you can use the same idioms or the same phrasal verbs. In the following pages, I will give you speaking examples, but you could use this same language for informal writing as well. Okay, so let's say the question is, call your cousin who is studying overseas. Okay, let's say the question is something about that. Okay, call your cousin who's studying overseas. So here's an example of a way you could end your conversation. You could say, it was great to talk to you again. Let's do it again soon. Okay, that would be an example of 8. Right? Now, how do we get that from 8 to 9? Okay, it was great to catch up. Let's do it again soon. Right? Because it's a casual situation. Right? So catch up is talk with someone after some time. If you haven't talked with your cousin, for a few months, you can say, hey, it was great to catch up. Right? So let's look at another one. Talk about a subject in school that you didn't like. Okay? So if the question is something about your education, your high school, or some school experience in the past, okay, you could say, if you want to get 8, you could say something like this. High school math was so boring, I always fell asleep. Okay, but if you want to boost your score a bit, remember, you've got to use some more specific, a little bit more advanced vocabulary. So you could say, high school math was so boring, I always dozed off. Right, dozed off means just to fall asleep. Right, if a class is boring, maybe you just doze off. Hopefully my videos aren't boring. Hopefully you're not dozing off right now. Okay, so let's look at another one. So talk about a time when you had to endure an unpleasant situation. Okay, these kinds of topics will be on the CELPIP exam, right? It's the question, speaking or writing, it's going to be something like there's going to be these, and in my book I give a lot of these. Okay, so if you use this book, it's going to help you in, I'm sure, a lot of situations on the CELPIP exam. Okay, so we're talking about an unpleasant situation here. So you could say, I broke my leg last year, which was hard to endure. Okay, but it would be better to say, I broke my leg last year, which was hard to cope with. Cope with, that means to endure a difficult situation. If you have to cope with something, that means you don't like it, but you sort of have to be patient with it and sort of deal with it. Okay, so let's look at another one here. Your friend wants to go to college. Give her some advice on what to study. Okay, so in this one, I give you the words broaden horizons. Have you ever heard that before? Broaden your horizons. That means increase your range of knowledge. Okay, so you should say, I think you should start off with some general courses to broaden your horizons, right? If your friend is going to school, sometimes people don't know what to study, right? And so if they just dive into a really specific thing, that's a bit too narrow focused. Let's say your friend is going to study chemistry or something. You might want to give your friend some advice. Hey, you should say, hey, Jane, I think you should start off with some general courses, just to broaden your horizons. Okay, so if you use a vocabulary like this, you're going to get, 10, 11, 12. This is what I would use, right? So this is you should get 12. If you use the vocabulary in this book consistently and you use, if the rest of your speaking or your writing is good, you're going to get 12. Okay, you're not going to get 9. You're going to get a 12. That's how good this vocabulary is. So let's look at another one. Okay, call your grandma and tell her that you have the flu. Okay, you could say, hey grandma, I got sick with the flu. Hopefully I'll get better soon. Right? But a better way to say that would be, hey grandma, I came down with the flu. Right? Hopefully I'll get back on my feet soon. Okay, so I came down with. Okay, we always use that idiom or that phrasal verb if we're talking about getting sick with a cold. Okay, so if you got the flu, if you got like a virus, you could say I came down with. We wouldn't use this for like a different kind of disease like cancer or something else. I mean you could, but it's the most common way to use it would be with like a cold or a flu. Okay, so that's why I say get sick with a cold or flu. Now another one here is to get back on my feet. Okay, so that means to get better, right? Hopefully I'll be back on my feet soon. Okay, so here if we use two advanced kinds of English, right? So you can see here the difference between 8 and 9, right? So this book is full of examples of how you can go from 8 to 9, right? Now remember, place I'm staying in an Airbnb. I think someone's making noises through that wall. Get back to talking about my book. Hope a lot of you guys buy my book. Thank you guys so much for always supporting my work. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for smashing like and buying my books. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so we talked about the grammar. I mean, this book is full of examples. I could keep going for a long time. I don't know. Maybe I'll just stop there so this video doesn't get too long and you don't doze off because you get so bored. But yeah, I mean, it's full of examples, full of idioms and phrasal verbs that you can use in different situations. Okay, so if you use this book, I think it will prepare you for especially for speaking and for speaking and writing. Okay, I think this book will really help you. The nice thing about speaking and writing is that you can prepare, you can plan which words and phrases you're going to use in different situations, right? Like on the test, you don't know which questions you're going to get, but there's going to be questions about education. There's going to be questions about your employment or business or politics or government. You can plan out which idioms and phrasal verbs you're going to use. So, if you just look at all these different situations in this book, you can just try to remember as many as you can and remember, what vocabulary you can use for that situation. Okay. So like I said, there's no easy way to pass the exam. It's a hard exam. But the reason I wrote this book is just to help save you time so you can go, from 8 to 9 as fast as you can, or 9 to 10 as fast as you can. And like I said, you can use this book in conjunction with my other books, okay? In conjunction with means you can use them at the same time because I don't think there's anything repeated. So that's the nice thing about all my books is that they all, kind of come at it from a different angle, right? And it's all new material. So I hope this book helps you guys. I think it will help you just to boost your score a bit. If you don't want to use all my other books, you can maybe, if you just want to boost your score by 1, hopefully you can just use this book and it'll help. But all my other books are great, at least in my opinion. That's what people tell me. Thank you guys for letting me know as well. I get emails almost every day and comments saying, "Hey Mark, thank you. I only used your books and I got way higher than I wanted to get." I get those emails all the time. So sometimes people just use my books and they don't use any other materials, and they pass with flying colors. Right, flying colors. If you pass an exam with flying colors, that means you did awesome, better than you expected. You did just awesome. So I hope you get 12 on the exam, but it's hard to get 12. Some of my students have gotten 12 in all the categories, but that's a bit rare. okay, you know, so hopefully this book helps you get at least 9 or 10, and then you can forget about the exam, move on with your life, and enjoy life in Canada. You know, that's why I wrote these books, so you can just enjoy your life, relax, not have to study English grammar or English vocabulary. There's other ways you can pass the exam. You don't have to use my books, but I've tried to make my books as helpful as I can, as I can for you to just pass and then forget about it. That's my goal. So thank you guys again. Thank you for always watching my videos, for checking out my books, and hope you find that helpful. Hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. I'll be making more books actually, I just gave away a secret. I'm actually writing another CELPIP book for you, but I hope to make more CELPIP videos for you guys. So I really want to help you guys to focus in on that this summer, to make content for you, because actually I know a lot of people, even people that I know as friends, who are, you know, in Canada, and they're wanting to pass this exam to get their permanent residency, right? People need to take this exam to get their PR, permanent residency in Canada. So I want to help you guys. I want to help my own friends, my friends in real life. You guys are my friends, you know, but I haven't even met you. Most of you guys I haven't met, but I do have friends in real life too that need to pass this exam. So this isn't just for me to make money. This is actually, I do this to really help my, you know, people in real life, and it does help people. So I'm really proud to be able to do something that that really helps people. You know, if you Google or if you search on YouTube for like the CELPIP exam, you're going to see my beautiful face, right? I think I'm maybe the most popular CELPIP teacher or CELPIP person in the world. So that's an honor. Thank you guys so much. Do you think I have a beautiful face? Give me a thumbs down if you think I have an ugly face. I have long hair now, so I don't know. Maybe some people will like it, some people won't like it. Well, like or dislike, it's your choice. So thank you guys again. Hope you're having a great day. And well, as always, I'll see you guys over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.